take part in it. Our review is devoted to the personal data protection challenges in telemedicine. In this presentation, we'll discuss several questions. First of all, we'll outline the history of telemedicine. Then we'll speak about new technologies and their influence on the personal data safety. And after that, we'll discuss different approaches to the personal data protection. Globally, personal data are all information about the individual which make it possible to identify him or her. Personal data were gathered during all the history of the humanity with administrative, scientific, commercial, or criminal purposes. It should be mentioned that personal data collection is a cornerstone of patient safety during the daily medicine practice. The information exchange between people appeared with the appearance of the first data carrier. In the ancient, it was a person who carried the oral information. But then other means of information storage and exchange become available. We may propose that many years ago, someone who lived in the remote areas of some country could write a letter for the doctor who lived in the capital and ask him an advice and then receive it. It was an early form of telemedicine. But the patient have been waiting for an answer for a long time and couldn't receive it when it was already late. The invention of telephone has contributed to the medicine development. This device accelerated the transfer of verbal information. A doctor could get an additional information about the patient. The patient could get a real-time consultation and, if necessary, ask additional questions to the doctor. Another step of telemedicine development was a fax machine appearance. The patient received an opportunity to send medical documents to the doctor. Doctor could send to the patient an official conclusion and written advices that elevate its understanding by the patient. But only the internet gave for telemedicine almost unrestricted opportunities. Currently, we can find out a myriad medical websites. A lot of questions about the health are discussed in the social media. Many patients use different wearable devices which help them to monitor their health status, physical activities, or nutrition, and they can remember them to take a medicine in time. And now telemedicine is closely related to the up-to-date technologies. So currently telemedicine is an inevitable reality. COVID-19 pandemic only stimulated widespread of telemedicine technologies. But also it raised our worries about personal data protection. Because internet technology have made them more vulnerable. The volume of information drastically increases almost every day, but modern technologies crucially elevate data collection, storage, processing, and access to them. All of us have heard about the big data and their features. And I'd like you to note the latest V. It is value. It means that today, information is a merchandise which need to be protected. The understanding of this problem was already in the last century. In 1917 in Germany, appeared the first personal data protection law. In 1981, Council of European Convention on the Personal Data Protection was published. Currently, many countries around the world have their own legislation which protect personal data. But we should say that legislation only outlines the problem, and it lags behind the challenges of personal data protection, because in most cases, it only reacts on the already existing problems. So we need other measures to protect personal data. We may define several stages of the work with the personal data. The first of them is collecting the information into the database. The second one is data processing. Then is data storage and user access to the data, and also data transition to the remote users or data interchange between different databases. And we should protect the information on all of those stages. There are several threats for personal data. Firstly, it is an erroneous or unintentional data mispresenting by their owner. Secondly, it may be accidental or unintentional mistake of operator who input them into the database. And lastly, it may be data stealing, the accidental or unintentional spoilage, changing on annihilation during the storage, access, or processing or transfer. We may identify several groups of personal data protection measures. It may be legal, for example, regulatory, supervisory, or punitive. Cryptographic, when we use information coding, technical, this is different types of software or hardware, and physical. This is the timing, spatial, and zonal restriction to the access to the information. It should be mentioned that personal data protection is a very resource-consuming process. So we need to differentiate the information to be protected to minimize our expenses. For these purposes, specialists in this area distinguish several types, several threat types and security levels for personal data. The volume of personal data protection measures is dependent on personal data threats type, personal data categories, personal data subjects features. For example, employees of personal data operator and numbers of personal data subjects in this database. There are three types of personal data. There are three personal data threats type. The first one, threats are related to the system software opportunities. The second one are threats are related to the application software opportunities. And the third type, threats that are not related to the software. There are four personal data categories. The first one is a special personal data. For example, race, nationality, political, religious, or philosophic beliefs, health status, sexual life, etc. The next one is biometric personal data, information about physiological, biological features of individual, which make it possible its or her or his identification. The next group is publicly available personal data. For example, name, the date of birth, or place, address, telephone number, occupation, and others. And the last one is other data about person. The personal data protection measures are grouped into four levels, from the fourth, the mildest demands, and to the first, the most strict measures. Fourth measures is there are consumes. It is first of all restriction measures of unauthorized persons to access to premises where this information system equipment ensuring, and the employer should make an approval list of employers who are allowed to this access. The level 3 consists of level 3 measures, and the operator of personal data should appointment or an official responsible for ensuring data security. Level 2 measures include the levels of previous measures of previous third levels and restriction of access for the electronic security system for authorized persons. And level 1 is the most strict level. Include, besides of level 2 measures, also automatic registration in the electronic security log, all changes in the operator, employees, authority, and every changes in information system. Also, should be created a special structural unit with specialists who are responsible for personal data protection. What about medical files? First of all, to protect personal data, only authorized persons can create medical documents, have an access to it, and can to process the information, complete, correct, and etc. Authorized person must use password and electronic signature every time when they enter the database and process the information. Moreover, all the information in such a database should be depersonalized. How can we do it? There are several procedures of methods of depersonalization of information. We may use identifiers. This is the special science which replaces the personal data. Also, we may use the personal data composition and semantic changes. For example, we replace the information by the results of its statistical processing, combined or excluding part of information. The next one is decomposition. This method is decomposition, is division the set of all set of personal data of special subject into the subsets with the separate storage, and mixing, moving, and rearranging individual records in a variety of personal data of special subjects. After the depersonalization procedure, personal data must retain the completeness, structure, and semantic value. Telemedicine implies exchange of information by internet using the standard TCP/IP protocol. This process increases the vulnerability of personal data. So we must use a special security system and cryptography while storage or transmit the information. The information leakage may be external due to DOS attack, internal due to intended or unintended activity of the employees, which comprise 19% of all leakages. and mix it. For example, harmful software insertion via web browsers or spam. There are two main information leakage channels, network and mobile data carriers. And we may define three approaches to the information protection. Content analysis by a special algorithm. Second, making an electronic documents with special labels. And third, this is a combination of previous approaches. Every information protection system should include next elements: access control, registration and accounting, cryptographic, and ensuring integrity of the system. The state certification of the equipment using for information protection is obligatory. Also, we need specialists for information protection, for so-called DLP specialists. In conclusion, I would like to say that telemedicine is in our daily practice is inevitable process, and COVID-19 only confirmed this statement. Second, modern technology drastically elevates the information collection, processing, transfer, and access to it, but also increase its vulnerability. We should remember that today all information is merchandise and need to be protected. Information protected is a resource consuming process. For rational resource using, additional approaches to information protection are used. To protect information, legal, cryptographic, technical, and physical measures are used. Technical and cryptographic measures have a pivotal role in a data protection. Thank you for your attention.